Welcome to Chemtrade. You're about to enter a Chemtrade water chemical manufacturing facility. At Chemtrade, our mission is to manage operations in a manner that protects the environment and the health and safety of employees, customers, contractors, and the public. Our motto is to do the right thing and to be seen doing the right thing. We are committed to the principles of responsible care, which have formed our business philosophy towards societal, economic, and environmental continual improvement and sustainability in the areas of environmental management, safety and health, safe transportation, process safety management, and security of our processes, products, services, and activities. Responsible care is based on the 3 codes of operations: stewardship and accountability. Additional information regarding these codes can be found on the Chemistry Industry Association of Canada, CIAC, or the American Chemistry Council, ACC websites under the Responsible Care tab, www.canadianchemistry.ca, www.americanchemistry.com. As a company committed to responsible care, we are required to communicate the following environmental health and safety policies and responsible care policies to all visitors, drivers, and contractors coming on site. As a visitor, driver, or contractor working on our manufacturing site, there are several very important safety requirements and hazards you need to know about. Your site contact will also review any site-specific safety-related information in greater detail. While on site, you must comply with all Chemtrade safety requirements and abide with all local, provincial, and federal safety requirements. Your safety is our number 1 priority. Firearms, illegal substances, and alcohol are not permitted on Chemtrade property. Cameras are only permitted with proper consent. Cell phones may be prohibited from use in operating areas of the facility. Check with your Chemtrade contact for site-specific instructions regarding cell phone use at the facility. Smoking of any type is prohibited in any Chemtrade buildings. This policy includes prohibiting the use of pipe tobacco and/or electronic cigarettes in Chemtrade buildings. Consult with your site contact for specific site smoking policies. Horseplay or unsafe work practices will not be tolerated. A visitor, driver, or contractor will be asked to leave the site if they are acting in a way which puts themselves or others at risk. We will also ask you to leave the site if we observe harassment of others, suspect drug or alcohol abuse, or if we believe there is a security risk. Normal business hours of our facility may vary from site to site. Please clarify the site business hours with your Chemtrade site contact. You are permitted at our site during normal business hours unless additional arrangements or appointments have been scheduled in advance with your Chemtrade site contact. While operating vehicles or equipment on our property, you must observe the posted speed limit and watch out for other traffic, as well as foot traffic in vehicle traffic areas. Pedestrians within the facility always have the right-of-way. Please watch for vehicle clearance while driving underneath overhead piping and plant process equipment. A spotter must be used if you are unsure of proper clearance, backing up in a congested area, or if visibility is limited. In addition, all personnel entering the Chemtrade facility must wear appropriate work attire. This includes hard hats, safety glasses with side shields, or ANSI Z87 compliant prescription glasses with clip-on side shields, a shirt with minimum full short sleeve, long pants, and safety toe shoes. Sleeveless shirts, shorts, or Capri-style pants will not be permitted in any operating areas at our plant. Persons who do not comply with Chemtrade's site-specific safety rules will be asked to immediately exit the facility and may be permanently banned from entering the site. Depending upon the task or work location, additional specific PPE, such as gloves or hearing protection, may be required. If you are a driver involved in loading or unloading products at this facility, there are several very specific requirements that you must meet in order to safely perform your job. Drivers must immediately notify a Chemtrade representative when they come on site for accountability in the event of an emergency. While each Chemtrade water chemical manufacturing site may have slight differences in their loading/unloading procedures, there are also some very specific site requirements. These requirements must be met. It is very important that you participate in a review of the site loading procedure with your site contact. Before loading, ensure all hoses and connections are secure and in good working condition. If a hose or connection is in poor shape, do not load product using the equipment. Notify your site contact that there is a problem. The driver is responsible for the inspection of his truck and equipment. Do not continue loading if there is any reason to believe the equipment will fail. Prior to arrival at our facility, drivers must always complete a pre-trip inspection to make sure that a heel or incompatible product does not exist inside their trailer. Drivers should perform a complete inspection of their truck and trailer prior to leaving the site with their load. It is important that all safety vents, valves, and dome lids are fully secured before you leave our water chemical manufacturing site with our products. Prior to exiting the site, ensure that the loading fall protection rack has been raised so you do not damage the rack when pulling away from the loading bay. If a spill, chemical release, or property damage does occur during loading or unloading, please inform a chemtrade employee so that the problem can be addressed before impacting other workers or the environment. If the product you are transporting is loaded by a chemtrade employee, you may wait inside your truck while the trailer is being loaded. If you choose to stand outside your vehicle, you must utilize the required personal protective equipment. Wheel chocks must be used while loading or unloading. If you're entering our site, you are required to sign in and out at the main office when entering and leaving the plant. The logbook will be used to ensure accountability in the event of an emergency evacuation. Only vehicles used to support special work activities may be parked outside the designated parking areas. When making pickups, deliveries, the vehicle should remain inside the plant only long enough to complete the pickup delivery. Unattended vehicles must not be left running. When backing up in a vehicle that is not equipped with a backup alarm, the driver should turn and look behind the vehicle, not just in the rearview mirror, and sound the horn 3 times prior to backing up. This is to notify pedestrians that the vehicle is beginning to move. If visibility is limited or if backing into congested or blind areas, a spotter must be used. When working in vehicle traffic areas, you must barricade or post warning signs around the work area for your protection. Reflective safety vests must also be worn. Absolutely no parking allowed in front of any safety equipment or designated loading areas. If you have any questions about vehicle parking, discuss them with your site contact. Contractors are not permitted to operate chemtrade-owned or leased equipment at any time. If special equipment is needed to perform your work at this facility, your employer must provide this equipment for your use unless prior arrangements have been made with your site contact. Rail safety. Many of Chemtrade's water treatment chemical producing facilities contain access to or are adjacent to railroad access points. Rail cars are used to transport raw materials and finished products into and out of the facility. When driving into our facility, please be aware that trains can operate on mainline tracks traveling any direction at any time. Please stop and look both directions before traveling over any rail crossing. In addition, visitors or contractors may not perform any work on or near rail tracks without obtaining a safe work permit and setting a blue flag to notify train operators of work on the track. Furthermore, never cross a track by walking in between or directly in front of rail cars. Maintain a clearance of at least 35 feet from any rail car if you are required to access the opposite side of the rail tracks. In addition, minimum clearance of 9 feet from either side through the center line of a railroad and 22 feet 6 inches above the top of the rail head must be maintained unless a blue flag has been set. Visitors and contractors working on our site are required to use proper personal protective equipment, or PPE. If you are a contractor performing more specialized work, such as hot work or elevated work, additional PPE to address specific hazards will be identified on your Chemtrade Safe Work Permit. Contractors working at our site will be required to supply their own PPE for each work task unless other contractual agreements have been made. You are required to report all incidents which occur on site to your Chemtrade contact. If you notice an unsafe condition, experience a close call, spill any hazardous materials or plant products, or get injured in any way, to include a minor first aid, it must be reported immediately. We want to know about the incident so we can correct the hazard or issue as soon as possible. Be careful to identify witnesses and the scope of the work at the time of the incident and any subsequent actions taken. Although contractors are required to provide their own first aid kits, Chemtrade also has first aid kits located strategically throughout the plant, and we are glad to assist if needed. Your Chemtrade site contact will inform you on the location of the first aid kit, as well as site-specific emergency procedures to be followed in the event of a site emergency. In the event of a fire, explosion, chemical spill, or release, medical or other emergency, the Site Emergency Response Plan may be activated. Please review site-specific emergency communications and alarms with your Chemtrade representative. If notified to evacuate, follow the designated evacuation routes specified on the posted site evacuation maps. If an evacuation is ordered, contractors will assemble at the designated evacuation point and coordinate with Chemtrade personnel to establish accountability. Emergency responders will be notified of any personnel who cannot be located. Some of the chemicals located at this water chemical manufacturing facility are sulfuric acid, aluminum sulfate, hydrochloric acid, aluminum hydrate, bauxite, polyaluminum chloride, ACH, ferric sulfate, and steam. While many of our products are not hazardous, there may be hazardous releases during some stages of production. Notify your Chemtrade representative or operations personnel if you need access to the production facility, and a Chemtrade Safe Work Permit can be generated. You have a right to know about the chemicals produced and handled at this site. Safety data sheets of all chemicals on site are located on the site computer system. You can access these by requesting them from your Chemtrade site contact. If contractors bring any chemicals onto our property, a safety data sheet for that chemical must be provided to the Chemtrade site contact and must be approved for use by the site environmental health and safety representative. This must be done prior to the start of any work activity. Some of the more significant hazards in the plant operating areas are the strong corrosive liquid chemicals, such as sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid, and phosphoric acid. These corrosives are used to manufacture many of our site products, such as aluminum sulfate, aluminum chlorohydrate, and polyaluminum chloride. Acids are substances that can cause severe chemical burns on the skin or eyes. If you come in contact with any acid, proceed to the nearest safety shower eye wash station and flush the contacted area with water for at least 20 minutes. Other chemicals which may be present at our site include the following: alum, a mildly corrosive liquid which is amber to clear in color. Ferric sulfate, a mildly corrosive liquid which is reddish-brown in color. Polyaluminum chloride, or PAC, is a mildly corrosive liquid which is clear in color. Skin contact could cause irritation and possibly chemical burns. Aluminum chlorohydrate, ACH, and polyaluminum hydrochloride solution, PAC, are clear corrosive liquids which could cause irritation and chemical burns. If you come into contact with any of these products, including eye contact, flush the affected area for at least 20 minutes. Hydrate dust, a chemical which can be found in feed elevators and feed screw conveyor systems to feed our manufacturing processes. Hydrate dust can cause mild irritation. Bauxite dust, a chemical which can be found in feed elevators, a feed screw conveyor system to feed our manufacturing processes. Hydrate dust can cause mild irritation. Steam and hot surfaces can be present throughout the process areas. Contact with hot surfaces could cause thermal burns. Hydrogen or other flammable materials may be present inside acid piping or vessels, or near natural gas supply lines. These materials may ignite and cause a site fire emergency if appropriate hot work procedures are not followed during your work here at the Chemtrade plant. This is a chemical manufacturing facility. While safety devices and precautions are in place to protect you and the plant personnel from harm, a chemical release or other hazardous situation can occur at any time. You should identify and locate all emergency relief vents, discharge points, moving rotating equipment, flanges, pipes, and other potential hazards within your work area. You should also note the location of the nearest fire extinguisher and first aid station. If you have any questions regarding any piece of equipment, operation, or emergency situation which could occur, ask your site contact. It is also important that you never operate any switch, valve, or other piece of equipment without express consent of your Chemtrade contact and after completing all necessary pre-startup safety review items. Safety showers and eye wash stations are located throughout the plant in areas of greatest risk. It is important that you note the location of the nearest safety shower before beginning your work. Test the shower to make sure it is operable before performing any work. If a safety shower is not located in an area where you expect to encounter corrosive or caustic materials, a temporary shower or other first aid provisions will be made available before you begin work. If you come into contact with any acid or caustic material, you must proceed to the nearest safety shower. Flush the affected area for at least 20 minutes and seek medical attention. You should practice good housekeeping at all times. You are responsible for your work area. The job is not complete until it is returned to the condition in which you initially found it. Failing to follow good housekeeping practices may disqualify your company from future work.